TikTok compilation that might wake you up and change your reality. Let's go!
Disclaimer: this video is for entertainment purposes only. Please do your own research, as these clips haven't been fact-checked.
Wow, that was amazing. The connection is real. Horse Whisperer. Modern day Pocahontas.
So Usher's got some really good songs and hits, but there's something really creepy about this particular video recorded in this year's Met Gala. Check this out.
Usher! Hey! I'm doing well, how are you? I'm good, I'm good.
Good to see you, baby.
Please tell me about your look.
Alexander McQueen, it's a one-of-one. Sean McGuire and myself decided to put this amazing thing together.
So he's being super nice to this person, he's answering all her questions. Up until now, everything is as it should. But then, this happens, pay very close attention.
Exotic, romantic, and but still within the garden theme.
And tell me about the
It's all a part of it. Just everything. You're looking at I mean, this is a true thought, like a cohesive, full thought. You know.
So he begins explaining how everything that you're looking at is a cohesive, full thought when she asks him about his grills. It's quite weird. When he's talking about it, I feel as if he's talking about something else and not the grills itself. And then this happens.
And how did you interpret the theme tonight?
Just as that. I wanted it to be exotic. There's all different types of gardens. Some of them get a little dark, but you gotta have fun, right?
What is going on here? What exactly is he talking about? And if we zoom in this particular moment, you'll notice that we can't see his pupils. It's as if his eyes went full dark. As if he's not even human, or at least this is what a lot of people on the internet are saying. Is he maybe using some sort of lens, or is there something else entirely going on here, something far more sinister? What's your take?
Pay close attention to the dude in green. Watch how he covers his face as Usher passes. By the way, he doesn't look like Usher we know. What do you think?
My God, that's what I look like. Like, how do you fix this? Like, how do you fix this? I didn't realize he had taken off my whole lip.
November 3rd, 2020. Aspiring model Brooklyn Corey walked into an Arizona nutrition shop when an employee approached her and said, "Whatever you are about to go through, you're going to remain positive." This would be an ominous foreshadowing of the living nightmare she was going to experience just 15 minutes later. Brooklyn then left the shop and headed to her cousin's house nearby to have lunch with her. And ironically enough, while she was there, she snapped a selfie of herself and noticed she had a zit on her upper lip and felt very insecure and self-conscious about this. She would even later say she went on to crop her upper lip out of this photo that she took, not knowing just moments after this, she would have no upper lip at all. Brooklyn was then in her cousin's kitchen watching her cousin put away these pots and dishes and happened to notice the pit bull, a pit bull she had known since it was 8 weeks old when her cousin brought it home, one that she had met many times and she would say never showed any signs of aggression or violence towards her, was sitting beside her and her cousin. And so she reached out to pet it. And as she did, she turned around to look at her cousin just for a few seconds and then turned back towards the dog. And as she turned back, all she saw was a blur of fur, gums, and teeth as the pit bull lashed out at her and sank its teeth into her mouth, specifically her upper lip. It would hang on to this lip with all of its strength. So now she begins to grab its head and try to push it back off of her lip, but it is biting down and holding on so tight that it even starts shaking her head a little from side to side. This pit bull would go on to hang from her upper lip for a full minute before she was finally able to pry this dog's teeth off of her face. And as she did, she would later say she saw something fly out of the dog's mouth and go through the air and hit the wall. She didn't know at the time it was her upper lip. All she knew was that she immediately took a big breath. She described it as feeling like someone shoved dry ice up her nostrils. Her cousin took one look at Brooklyn, and all she could say is, "You're going to sue me when you see what's been done to your face." Moments later, Brooklyn was rushed to the hospital, where a nurse would throw a rag over her face and say, "Please cover up," because she could not bear to look at her face. Ultimately, the pit bull was put down, and as for Brooklyn, even after multiple facial reconstruction surgeries, she has, for the most part, let go of her aspirations of being a model because it's been very difficult, as you can imagine, to get work. Instead, she's taken up skateboarding.
It doesn't matter which dog, it's a horrendous accident nonetheless. I am so sorry this happened to her. Those are very vicious, mean dogs.
Okay, this is the craziest thing. I have never seen anything like this in my entire life, and I lived in Florida my entire life.
What? Those are all bugs.
Those are all bugs. I thought the restaurant was smoking. Those are all bugs. You can even see them flying, like, dude, you can't even tell on the video how many there are. There are millions and billions and trillions of bugs here right now. All of those lines, bugs.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh. They're getting closer to me so you can start seeing them more. Oh, I cannot believe this. I've literally never seen anything like this in my entire life. How is this Ohio? It looks like it's pouring rain. It's literally not even raining. These are bugs. I cannot even fathom how many bugs are here. This is absolutely absurd. Absurd. Oh my gosh.
There's another one for apocalypse. Bingo. Looks like a good day to be a bat.
Hi, you are currently being recorded.
What? I think a spider web with light reflection. What do you think?
Learn this, and it's called you can't control the wind, but you can adjust your sails.
I think that makes a lot of sense. You know, life changes and you can change with it.
Well, that's not what it means.
Oh,
But
my bad.
I know what it means.
Yeah, tell me more about what
It
it means.
means it's not about what happens to you, it's how you react to make a better choice.
That's very wise.
Did this kid just teach me about life? His mom deserved the biggest round of applause.
Now I'm outside Target in New York City. First time in Target. One thing about America and why they come out the womb looking 7 foot. Look at the size of their food portions. No wonder these men are built like giants, bro. A size large in the UK is like a small in America. It's the same size as my head. You got any New York slang I can learn? You heard? In the UK, if you wanted to buy a smoothie, you'd get this and you'd pay a £5. In America, if you want to buy a smoothie, you get this and you pay £2. What the This is a normal size Red Bull you'd get in the UK. America, bruv, this thing will give you a heart attack. I kid you not, you could do 7 rounds of Deontay Wilder after the mini pack of M&Ms. That is a mini pack. That's a mini pack. Look at the size of the water for £1.89. Look, that's the cheese balls you may see in the Home Alone movies.
I think everything has shrunk in the UK, but prices double for the same product. You heard? You know, I do this when I was a kid. I remember playing soccer under heavy rain with bunch of kids from my village. So much fun. This is the one place in Breath of the Wild. Can you believe that long ago people used to walk those corridors? How much would it cost to renovate it? Drop a comment, please.
Behind me is currently going viral all across social media because its owner caught him sitting down and acting like a human. I do not care if anyone else thinks something differently. This right here is not a dog. It is a human in some sort of dog costume. It is literally sitting on these stairs like a human would, arms crossed and all. And he has no care in the world because he has no idea that his owner is actually right behind him recording everything that he was doing. And what I think is the craziest part about the entire video is as soon as the owner made some sort of noise, the dog immediately stopped sitting like a human and started to sit like a dog, as you can see right here. Like, this is definitely suspicious, and we are definitely onto this dog. I mean, just look at the way this dog is looking at its owner right now. He looks like he is so mad that he finally got caught in 4K, and I'm surprised he didn't start to, talk to his owner and say, like, hey, you better not tell anyone about this. Like, I would not feel safe in my home anymore. Oh my God, just look at the dog. I can't. But I'm just really curious to know your thoughts about all this.
Dog sitting like he got bills to pay. Wow. Beautiful. You did nothing but show me your love. Wow. Project Blue Beam. I think most of them are AI. What do you think?
The German pedophile campsite is one of the most disturbing stories I've ever researched. A pedophile ring was operating at a campsite in Germany from 1998 to 2018. What was happening was a group of men was luring children to this campsite. Disturbingly, the kids' ages ranged from 3 years old to 14 years old. And once they were at this campsite, the cameras were turned on and the children were violently sexually assaulted. All on video. Once the kids were there, they were promised laptops, horseback riding lessons, bicycles if they complied with the abuse. And sadly, for 2 decades, nobody listened to these children. Some of the kids' parents even tried to go to authorities, but they never looked into this seriously. This disgusting group of men lured a group of underage boys at one point to a garden shed, and they then kept them locked up in there with no food or water for days. And these men would take turns going into the shed and assaulting each child one by one on camera. This footage was eventually uploaded to the dark web, and hundreds, thousands of pedophiles across the world clicked on this, downloaded this, and saved this to their sick collections. So like I said, this was a hardcore pedophile ring being operated at this campsite. Now, the authorities claim that they caught all of the men responsible, but who really knows? This was a period of 20 years that these crimes happened over, and there was a recorded 450 different sexual assaults on children. And those are just the assaults that the authorities actually know about. But disturbingly, we still don't know what these perpetrators look like, and the public doesn't even know their last name. That's because German privacy laws protect them. So this is Adrian V., one of the pedophile ring's ringleaders. But in every photo of these guys online, their faces are blurred or they're obscured. And like I said, their full identities have never been released. I don't know what the point of that is, but it's got to be one of the dumbest laws that I have ever read about. Oh yeah, and you ready to get angry? The 2 men at the top of this pedophile empire who had victimized 23 children over 450 times, a lot of those times on camera. They had destroyed 23 different childhoods. They were sentenced to 14 years in prison. Another one was sentenced to 12 years in prison, and another one was sentenced to 10 years in prison. So for that many assaults on camera, footage that's shared to the dark web to thousands of other pedophiles, for destroying the childhoods and lives of 23 children, which are going to be people, adults, the maximum sentence received was 14 years. This should upset you, this should offend you, and this is definitely concerning because just a day ago, Germany lowered the minimum time that you need to spend in prison, 1 year, to 6 months, if they find CP or CSAM on any of your devices. So they just recently decided to punish pedophiles less severely. If you want to hear more true crime stories, listen to the podcast that I co-host with my wife, Courtney, Murder in America. It's available now on all streaming platforms.
If it's happened in Indonesia, they're gonna get death penalty and castration. And you know the sad part is this is definitely still going on every day somewhere in the world. God, please protect those kids and give them strength.
Thank you, Russell Brand, for speaking the truth. Watch this video with me.
There seems to be some other agent. There does indeed seem to be a serpent. There do indeed appear to be fallen angels. There do indeed appear to be ulterior forces at work. For I am struck that when I was an emblem of this culture in my hedonism, I was gloried and made much of. And when I say there is something else, we must move towards God. This is when the culture comes alive. This is when the spotlight shines. This is when the knock at the door comes. This is when forces are marshalled. It seems to me that someone must have been telling lies.
It's so beautiful to watch him excited about the Lord. You know, his eyes are totally different since he got saved. Praise God.
How tall was Goliath? So the Bible tells us that he measured 6 cubits in a span, which probably isn't helpful to most people. But in Hebrew culture, a cubit is the distance from your elbow to your fingertip. It's about 18 inches, so 1.5 feet. And so 6 of those would be 9 feet, and a span is the distance of your hand, the length of your hand. So probably about 9 foot 6 inches is where most people land. So for comparison's sake, in the Guinness Book of World Records, the tallest man that we have in our modern times is a guy by the name of Robert Wadlow, and he was 8 foot 11 inches American, and they took his measurements in the 1940s. 7 inches shy of where we would put Goliath.
It doesn't matter how big he was. David brought God. It's like bringing a shotgun to a knife fight.
Points in time when I say to myself, if I could turn the clock back 4 years and have my old life back and be just like it was and have nobody bother me, I would take it.
No way.
Absolutely.
You would have given up the $185 million.
Absolutely.
Prior to winning, did you think money would make you happier?
Yes. I think everybody does.
And now that you've won this mega sum, does it?
No. No. The money can't make you happier. When you win, everybody you know thinks they won too.
Aha. The indoor pool room.
The indoor pool room, yeah. Everybody's got to have one.
Greed and envy are words that now have added meaning for Larry Ross.
You hear people say behind your backs, well, geez, he bought this $1 million house. Why couldn't he give me $50,000?
So how have you come to terms with that?
No. I still struggle with it.
So you still feel guilty?
Yes. Yeah. Several people, I have just taken credit card bills, I think the highest amount was $20,000, and paid their bills, and they have come back 6 months later with $25,000 more. And at that point, you just, you say, I'm sorry, I can't do anything, and a lot of the people never talk to you again.
Wow.
You have made a significant difference to us, Larry.
Oh, thank you.
Larry Ross has given away more than $10 million to charity. His local hospital has benefited from both his money
We were fortunate enough we kicked it off with a $50,000 contribution from my wife and I.
and his time. He's their most committed fundraiser. But after spending time with Larry, you see what a solitary life wealth can create, and you begin to believe him when he complains about the grief his great fortune has brought him. If you could have your time over again, would you change it?
There's points in time when I say to myself, if I could turn the clock back 4 years and have my old life back and be just like it was and have nobody bother me, I would take it.
No way.
Absolutely.
You would have given up the $185 million.
Absolutely. I was never broke.
So why not give it all away?
Well, then you hurt the rest of your family. So I think maybe that's why. And if you gave it all away, I'm going to tell you something. People still wouldn't believe you were broke.
This is why lottery winners should be permitted to be anonymous. But I'm willing to test this theory out. What do you think?
This is not just a dog, as millions of wild animals and pets are being infected with this deadly, violent condition and spreading fast. And if you see this, it's a warning that you need to get out immediately. People were terrified after some people noticed their dogs not acting okay. To some of them noticed their dogs looking very human-like, to some of them even screaming, and this is not a good sign. With one viral video of a dog owner showing what appears to be a husky looking exactly like their dog trying to violently get into the house, even though the owner already has their dog inside. With one sighting causing people to have nightmares as a traveler found a human-looking person in the forest that was mimicking the traveler. Not only that, it went from human to transforming into a completely deadly nightmare.
Crawling at me like a goddamn... What's up, dude?
Many people document their sightings of this, saying it is currently spotted in almost half of the 50 states. Many people believe these beings could be skinwalkers, as they are known to transform into familiar creatures. So do you believe that, or is it edited?
Terrence Howard may have ate just a little bit with this. He apparently owes nearly $1 million in back taxes, and his response for not paying is that it's immoral for the U.S. government to charge taxes to the descendants of slaves.
Oh, what?
So the IRS has been trying to collect their coins from Terrence Howard since 2010, and then the Justice Department sued him in 2022. Now, in response to that, Terrence Howard left a voicemail for the lawyer on that case. And that voicemail said, allegedly, quote, 400 years of forced labor and never receiving any compensation for it. Now you have the gall to try and prosecute and charge taxes to the descendants of a broken people that you are responsible for causing the breakage. Then apparently the tax attorney's voicemail cut off. But Howard was like, oh no, I'm gonna finish this message. So then he calls right back and continues, and he says, quote, in truth, the entire United States should by default become the property of the descendants of slaves. But since you do not have the ability or the courage to do it, let's try this in court. We're gonna bring you down. And now, considering this is happening right now, the last two living survivors of the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre are still fighting for their reparations since 1921. So, I'm not saying Terrence is right, but is he wrong?
Terrence is either going to jail for evasion or he's going to have to pay. I don't see him winning this, right or not?
Every single year around this time, rich people have a rich off in Monaco. And it's truly a competition to show not who has more money, but who can show off the most money. Behind me is a $30 million yacht that pulled up to Monaco for the F1 this weekend. $30 million wasn't enough for the yacht to show off for these people. So you know what they did? They put a $3 million Bugatti on the yacht. And the crazy thing is, the $30 million yacht I just showed you, that might as well be the Prius of yachts. This is a $200 million super yacht behind me that has a helipad on it. That was there, of course. I mean, of course. Look at all these yachts behind me. This is who pulls up every single year, and then they party. Can you imagine what those parties are like? I got to get to this one year. The regular folk, we don't know about this side of the world, but we got to get out. They show up every year. They just have a rich off. They have a rich off. And then there's a little car race that goes on in between, you know, a little car race. And if you're rich enough, you own a team and you own the driver. The biggest yacht at this event is actually owned by Ritz-Carlton. There's 150 cabins. Rooms cost $10,000, $100,000. So this is the biggest yacht, but you probably don't want to be caught on it because that means like you only paid $50,000 for it. Like, where's your yacht? Oh, you're staying on the Ritz-Carlton. Oh.
Now, you know, the little car race is the Monaco F1 Grand Prix. That's why they all get together.
Now, TSA has decided to take your photograph every time you walk through. I went through yesterday, and they had a stare into the screen and will assess your face. I said to the guy, is this mandatory? And he said, no, it's not. And I said, that, I'm not doing that. He goes, I agree with you. Okay.
Wow, I did not know that. Not going to do it.
I used to think all the orphans on the orphan trains may have been grown in a lab, but now I'm starting to think that they were stolen and they put all their parents in the insane asylums. There was like 20 times more people in insane asylums back in like the late 1800s, early 1900s. People probably don't actually even go insane naturally. The handlers taught the kids how to work in factories and built them an entire false historical narrative. Out of those kids is where the secret societies came. It was like being on the debate team or FFA. or the football team. You were a part of something, and they used those kids to enforce the other kids. So the ones that tattled on people became the police, etc., etc. There's so much more to it, but if you want a great place to start, watch Mind Unveiled on YouTube. Great content, great research.
Mine unfail. Got it.
Dr. David Tong, professor at Cambridge, did a video on physics of the world, and he said it's all a lie.
So back to Neil deGrasse Tyson and his critique of Tesla.
So he threw shit on, he was like, well, Tesla stuff worked, but Tesla was never really respected and out there. I guess he wanted me to support Bohr or Schringer or Feynman or any of those people. And I'm looking at the Feynman diagrams. I'm like, you made all these things up. You're basically doing the Mr. Spock thing. If you want to find the answer to something, then you cancel out all other possibilities and you root it down to one thing. So that means going through the whole universe to answer one question. And that's the problem with probability. That's the problem with Heisenberg uncertainty. That's the problem with Schrodinger. All of those were just these probabilities because they had taken the ether out. They forgot the electromagnetic wave. It had to have a medium in which it followed on. It had to have something in which it was moving on.
They don't exist in isolation.
No, they do not. And it cannot be the cause of its own action. An effect can never be the cause of the action. The egg cannot come before the chicken. The chicken has to be there first in order to lay it. It has to mate. And what Einstein left out was the equal and opposite of magnetism. So back to Neil deGrasse. When he wrote his response to my paper, and he said, if you have any other questions, you're going to have to see somebody else, and he wouldn't take my calls anymore. I was like, okay, so I wrote the book based off of those responses, and I reached out to another guy, Dr. David Tong.
But that would be very, very interesting that would be his take as a public educator, that he wouldn't want to talk to you anymore.
The reason I wanted to talk to him was because of his show, The Cosmos, that he was doing after that incredible guy, Carl Sagan did. The very first episode he had was talking about Giordano Bruno. And he said that Giordano Bruno was looking for that grand unified field equation, and maybe one day somebody is going to do it. And when they do it, it's going to change the world. And I'm like, dude, I've done it. I've got it here. He attacked it with such vitriol that I was like, oh, okay, maybe I need to walk away from this. Dr. David Tong from Cambridge, a professor at Cambridge, did a video on physics of the world, and he said it's all a lie. And he explained that there was these 16 fields. Everything that they had taught gave the best understanding and interpretation that they had of it. But it was all a lie because they didn't understand how it worked. Why? Because the Michelson-Morley experiment from 1887, where they were trying to define the ether or the earth in this etheric space, problem was they kept with Newtonian laws, so they thought the ether didn't move. They thought it was still. But there was another guy, Larmor, that did it in early 1800s, and he went off of Thomas Young, who, influenced Fresnel, who came up with the Fresnel lens. But he talked about a moving ether that had opposing vortices. So I didn't learn all of this stuff until I was getting ready to have conversations with people, because I was looking, where has this work been done? But if you look at Giordano Bruno's work, it looks a lot like my stuff, but he still had straight lines, and I think he put those straight lines in there to appease the church.
Oh, wow.
So that he wouldn't get killed.
Oh, my God.
And they still killed him. They hung him upside down in 1600, the Catholic Church. 1599, hung him upside down in a stake and set him on fire. Because he refused to recant that the God that they were talking about was not the true God of the universe. It was much larger than that. Their story went back 6,000 years, and there's other traditions and tribes around the world where their stories go back 200,000 years. And they made a lot more sense. So
a little knowledge is a dangerous thing. Luminiferous ether was disproved by experiment long ago. Don't go anywhere because we still have fire clips after fire clips back to back.
This right here is a world's first by a company that's selling this for around $250,000. First of all, you have two jet ski-like holds on the bottom. The suspension has over 30 patents on it. And apparently, this is impossible to flip over, but it's got over 800 horsepower. That's to accelerate, and the one on the left is for your brakes. Lamborghini-style fighter jet, on-off, flap right there. That's to start it. They have about 260 people in the waiting list. Oh my my God. We just like popped a wheelie. Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God.
250,000 and 260 people on waiting list. That's around $65 million. And I remember they called something unsickable a long time ago. Do you know what that is? Drop a comment.
All right. Your body knows how to repair everything. If your bones are weak, your body knows how to regrow them. If your muscles are wasting away, joints are breaking down, your internal organs are falling apart, you got things going wrong with you, there's no incurable disease. There is a point of no return, there's permanent damage, but if you get to anything wrong with a system going in here, if you get to it in time, do the right things, your body can repair it. So I'm going to explain it, and this is all you need for your body to repair itself. Ready? Get this. A surplus of energy in a hydrated alkaline environment. A surplus of energy in a hydrated alkaline environment, and your body will repair everything.
That's why they constantly feed us bioengineering foods.
Check this video out, y'all. This lady who lives in Texas, she has some cows. She has been living in Texas for quite some time now. She said ever since the solar eclipse, her cows have not been standing underneath the sun, y'all. Check this video out.
You know, I've been living here a minute. There's probably 8 or 10 cows clustered. I thought it was weird the other day, but like, I mean, it's not even hot here yet. It's not even hot. Look at them all.
Yeah, it's not even summertime and that sun is beaming. She said they just graze and then they go right back under the tree. Look at the little babies over there, the calves. Yeah, y'all, that sun is different. This is in Texas, man, and it's not even summertime, y'all. So a lot of people have been talking about this sun simulator and they're saying that it feels different, that, you know, they can't even look into the sun no more. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all, ever since that solar eclipse, the sun has been different. It literally has. And now even the animals are showing signs that the sun is different. So what do you guys think about this video? Let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments below. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during these interesting times. Like, comment, and share for more videos like this. Keep up with me on my other accounts where I go deeper on the esoteric level with these topics at hand. Let's get this shift, y'all. Peace in.
The sun simulator, you feel heat immediately, not like the yellow sun. Beautiful cat. He's like, no, I know I am. Bow before me, human.
Little walk through the park to the gym with a grounding and one tree hug. I've been hugging these trees lately. It's it's a nice little feeling, yeah? Grounding, tree hug, and all of this nature stuff. Yeah, it feels very good.
Grounding definitely does have a lot of benefits. I thought it was complete BS, but then I started to do it and I felt the benefits instantly.
3-year-old dark web drug kingpin millionaire who went by the name Pharaoh was arrested in New York this week, with him allegedly running a dark web drug site called Incognito Market that made over $100 million in profit, with him reportedly getting caught because he created a lot of enemies who were more than happy to rat on him. And this is the site often sold drugs that were not pure or authentic and were laced with fentanyl. They also tried to extort users in an exit scam, saying that users needed to pay a fee that varied between $100 and $20,000. Otherwise, they would release their purchase records to law enforcement. So when the 23-year-old arrived from Taiwan to JFK, he got arrested. And you have Pharaoh now facing a mandatory minimum sentence of life in prison.
Bro, how did he think he could get away with extorting some of the worst people to mess with?
This part 2 of the Dead Sea Scrolls. They didn't want you to see the dragons and they covered up part 1. I had to go ahead and put it back up. Minus the giant octopus and the giant squid bodies, because I believe that's why they covered it up. Finna get into some critical thinking tonight. What you seeing is what you seeing. Ain't no denying what I'm about to drop on you tonight. Just walk with me for a moment. They try to cover up the exposure of this. Nothing pissed me off more than non-disclosure and lying, for the simple fact that we all live in this world and we have a need to know, and we should be able to know. Leave it up to the most rich and powerful, we'll never know nothing. They want us to be worker bees. They don't want us to see. They don't want us to believe. They don't want us to know jack nothing. But I'm showing you the truth of what we see, and it just is what it is. Like, I believe this was either in China or Japan. Somebody get it right. But you know what I'm saying? This is right here, real in your face. I have a lot of data that you haven't seen, and I'm pretty sure you remember this. This was recorded so long ago, man, and we kept this in our database for you. They don't understand what we looking at right here. You don't look at that human DNA in this thing and know what's going on. Folks got to take the scales off their eyes. Remember, common sense in the sermon doesn't fall from trees, nor does it grow from one. Keep God first at all times. Peace.
I believe in dragons before I believe in dinosaur.
The man who says he can travel back in time just went to the 1880s.
Is this man really in the 1880s? Let me know in the comments below.
Guys, I'm here in 1885 in a little town called Los Angeles before it became what it is today. This is by Hollywood, guys. I mean, come on, how do you deny this proof? I mean, I'm clearly showing you the evidence. I'm in LA right now, guys. This is the hotel I'm staying in.
I mean, it
That's
kind
the
of
room
looks legit.
that me and my Western wife are staying in. Those are her clothes. We're going to be staying here for the night. Guys, I mean, how could you deny this proof? This is where I keep my money. This is the bank. I've kept money with them before. Guys, some of the locals, the sheriff. I mean, how do you deny this proof, guys? It's literally in your face. I mean, I record all this with my hidden camera.
Do you think he's a real time traveler?
Then I bring back the footage so you guys can see it. This is me talking over the video, but guys, there's a church.
Okay, now explain this. Why is it in black and white? Did the camera become old, or was everything back then in black and white? Cap. God, we didn't know how good we had in 1995 to 1999 years. I'm 44 now.
Best story is I had a Reebok deal, 40 for 5. And I'm leaving the arena one day and this lady she's ripping me a new hat. You mother charging these babies all this money for the shoes. So I had like a 2,000 in my pocket. I was like, ma'am, I don't make the prices. Here you go. And she smacked the money in my hand. Why don't you mother shoe that's affordable? And I thought about it. And I was like, you know what? She's right. So that day, cut ties with Reebok. Started my own brand. Yeah, that day.
What do you define cut ties?
I told him, I said, keep the money. This ain't right. Don't want to make it no fight. I'll still wear the shoes that I wear during the season, but I'm going to be looking to do my own thing. They said, okay, we understand. You know, at the end of the year, we was gonna do this. I said, "It's just the money you owe me, keep it." So I started the Shack brand, and I went to my favorite store, Walmart, and we did a deal.
So Shaq's mom is the true inspiration behind his affordable shoe brand, showing that it's possible to make high quality shoes at an affordable price.
About 2 o'clock in the morning, and the Lord woke me up and He said, "You need to start praying. There's somebody on the way to your house, and they're coming to kill your whole family." And so I just began to pray in the Spirit. For a whole hour, I prayed in the Spirit. Because when I don't know how to pray as I ought, the Spirit prays through me.
Amen.
After about an hour, I felt a release. I felt like, okay, it's done. No more, it's done. The next morning, at 8 o'clock in the morning, a girl called my phone, and I picked it up, and she said, "Whew." I said, "What?" She said, "Well, my husband, who was a drug addict and an alcoholic, picked up his shotgun at 2 o'clock this morning. He said, I'm tired of you going to church. I'm tired of you tithing. I'm just tired of it." He said, "I'll tell you what, I'll take care of pastors right now." And he picked up his shotgun to leave, to come to our house. And she said, "I just couldn't call you last night." She said, "But I'm so glad you're okay." Friend, I'm convinced we wouldn't have been okay without the power of prayer.
Obedience. You have to move when the Spirit tells you to, even when you don't understand why.
Terrence Howard linchpin. You know, did he just tell us how they made the pyramids? Hear me out. Hear me out for a second. Hear me the I was re-watching the podcast, and he talks about when he's introducing the linchpin tangential flight, right? He says this is the end of cranes. And then you see it picking up weights. We've wondered, we've marveled at how the hell did the Great Pyramids of Giza get those stones that were cut out of quarry hundreds of miles away and then brought to Giza. Did he just show us that they had this technology? If you follow the Anunnaki story, Enki and Il, how they had made these 90-degree cuts in granite, which our technology today cannot duplicate. And these tombs, these pyramids were aquifers. They were not tombs, you know what I mean? Where they buried Egyptian kings. No. They were electrical Wi-Fi transmitting devices. And if they had this hydrogen duplicate atom tangential flight technology, imagine what they can fly across these huge stones. Yo, you guys can say whatever you want about Terrence Howard, but watch later on. Later on, if he's still alive, oh my God. I think he just showed us how they built the pyramids. And the closest type of technology we've ever had in today. I am scared for this man's life. I'm telling you, rewatch the video, watch it. The more they connect, the heavier the things they can grab. And they just connect and connect and connect. Yo, did Terrence Howard just basically prove how they built the pyramids? Tell me I'm bugged. Watch it. Go back and watch it. I can't play the video because of... Go watch it. Watch it.
He's giving Terrence Howard way too much credit. Bro thinks 1 × 1 is 2, and the graffiti doesn't exist. Come on, man.
Sense of all this. You ever bought a home with a fucking hole? I advise go in it.
Ooh. Look like a dungeon.
No way, Jimmy. Oh my God, bro. Are you kidding me? Come out here.
Holy smokes, you're not going to believe this, but
So they are trying to say that the whistleblower, Maskradamus, is a Fed. We are hearing today that people around the world are afraid of the message that will be released very soon by Maskradamus. If you don't know who I'm speaking about, I will link him in this video on the screen and in the comment section. But here's the story. What you guys don't know about Maskradamus is this is not his first rodeo. The reason why Maskradamus can open an account on TikTok and post one video and in one day get over 35,000 followers is because Maskradamus has had more than one account. This man has had a million follower account, a 4 million follower account, and I believe a 3 million follower account. Now, I'm just putting you guys on to go see his content, but those accounts are no longer here on TikTok. So the one saying that Maskradamus must be a Fed because he posted one video and got 37,000 followers within, I think it's 14 hours. That's not the case. People already know who Maskradamus is. Peace and love and deuces.
It's you, bro. Stop the cap. That is awesome place. Beautiful. Wow. Pretty sure some guy named Tony Stark. I think he makes guns or something.
In this video, he speaks about why you should never steal from a Target. Make sure you watch to the end and let me know what you think in the comments below.
I just found out why you should never steal from a Target, and it is terrifying. I was talking to my friend who works in asset protection at Target, and he was telling me about the insane extent Target goes to prevent theft. And it was scaring me because I was thinking back to every time that I may or may not have stolen something from Target. He gave me this scenario to explain it to me. It was like, you go to Target, you get all your items, and then you go to the self-checkout. You scan all of your items except for a pack of gum, and you put everything in a bag, pay, walk out the door, and you think that you just got away with stealing that pack of gum. Next time you go to Target, because you think that you can get away with it, maybe you steal something else. Could be another pack of gum, could be something a little more expensive like sunglasses. Nonetheless, you think you're getting away with stealing these items, so the pattern just continues and continues. But little did you know, from that first pack of gum that you stole, Target had been building a file on you. They do this using facial recognition technology, so as soon as they catch you stealing, they'll capture your face, and every time you come into the store after that, they know it's you. That's across every Target. Like, you steal from one Target, the other Target knows about it. And they basically just continue gathering evidence of you stealing through the video cameras until you hit $1,200 of stolen items. At that point, they call the police and submit all of that evidence to them because $1,200 of stolen goods is enough to arrest you. So yeah, they know you're stealing. They just want to arrest you. And it got me scared because I was like, how much money am I up to then? Like $200, $500? If I accidentally don't scan something, will they come for me?
Imagine. Good to know. But you should never steal, period.
Going on vacation overseas, only to come back to a cell phone bill well over $100,000. That's exactly what happened to Renee Redmond and his wife. The couple traveled to Switzerland for 3.5 weeks, but the biggest surprise came when they got home. T-Mobile had billed them for more than $143,000 for data usage. Redmond says he went to a T-Mobile store before their trip and was told that he was covered for the international roaming charges. That turned out to be not the case. But after a few phone calls, the company worked with the Redmonds to reverse the charges.
I really just don't understand how that bill is legal.
I just want to encourage everyone to use cash. Anyone that goes to these woke coffee shops and they say, we don't accept cash anymore. Look on the front of a dollar bill. It says, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. No one has the ability to deny you using cash. So leave them the right change on the table and tell them to have a nice day. They cannot make you pay with a credit card. That is actually insurrectionist if these businesses are denying you the ability to use legal tender of the United States government. I had never thought of that. We see in China, they really don't accept cash anymore. And it's become the ultimate surveillance state. Cash is freedom.
There's no debt until service is rendered. If this happens prior to service, then it's merely refusing service on basis of currency, which is legal.
Out of the top 100 songs on the radio, who wrote the majority of the music? Did you know that the majority of the songs in the pop realm were made in the last 20, 30 years even, were made by one man.
That's crazy.
Use one man to do their lyrics and to do their music.
So they ghostwriter.
Yeah, so a ghostwriter. They go to this guy and say, hey, I don't have a song, but I can sing really well. Can you help me? And he's like, yeah, write this or sing this and do this, and you'll be amazed. In fact, we're gonna find out even though he's not well known, he has the majority of the top #1 hits.
You have entertainers and you have artists.
Yeah.
The artists are the ones who are actually creating the music. The entertainers sing it. They're the face, the
Right.
personality.
Right. Yeah. Just because you can write the music, I guess you wouldn't be a good front man.
He's like in the credits on the very bottom of of the song. Throughout this time that he's been doing this, he's had songs on the radio that are in the top 10, sometimes 5 of them at a time. In the top 10.
Wrote. But with him writing for all these different people, that's 5 different styles, 5 different personalities, 5 different genres maybe.
Wow. Best known to work with Katy Perry, Britney Spears, Kelly Clarkson, Pinks, Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Maroon 5, Coldplay, Avril Lavigne, Usher, Lady Gaga, Kesha, Celine Dion, Christina Aguilera, Simple Plan, Jennifer Lopez, Demi Lovato, Justin Timberlake, Adele, Bon Jovi. He is not the top artist that has written something. The only 2 people that are above him. So it's Paul McCartney and John Lennon. You know a little bit about the Beatles, right? Now their music, in fact, on their albums, they do a lot of occult.
That's right.
They had Aleister Crowley in one of their album covers, the Sgt. Pepper's Band.
The one below him is also a well-known singer, is Mariah Carey. She writes a lot of her own music. But this guy writes the music for everybody else. Is that strange? This kind of shows you, this next clip kind of shows you just how much he is involved.
Max, you truly are the heart and soul of the Backstreet Boys.
Tonight we heard a song called As Long As You Love Me. It has one of Max's favorites. Wrote the song, produced it. He's like, hey, go sing this, go sing this, go sing this. Okay. And so we did.
He tells all these artists how to sing. You know how much control this guy has?
Him and Taylor Swift work very close together. He wouldn't allow her to write her own songs.
If this guy is literally getting ideas from a spiritual source, and he's like, no, we're gonna go with my idea. Like, you can't be in control of your own idea here. That's crazy.
Yeah. I wanted to know exactly, what does he believe? Where is he going with all this? This is what he said. Key to producing a punchier sound was to wrap it in a greater spiritual understanding.
Sometimes a song becomes more than just a song.
Kan man påverka på något sätt? Alltså populärkulturen, jag kanske stöta till den lite grann, alltså när den så att säga blir mer än en låt. är alltid, det är liksom det är den största grejen.
I went further into this and I thought, you know what, I need to find out how he makes this music. Because if Santana says that he's making it through a fax machine, basically a human fax machine coming and talking with the angels, I can't believe he called them angels. I think that blows my mind. But let's see what this guy says, because I think he's a little more subtle in how he approaches it. This is what he said.
Can you tell us about making this song?
I was going to bed and this melody of the chorus sort of started, coming but I was really tired. And I was lying there trying to motivate myself to get out of bed and record this thing, because I had a feeling it was good. And I recorded it, and then I say like, hey baby, hit me baby one more time. And I was like, and then I hear myself say, yeah, it's pretty good.
This record, Baby One More Time by the great Britney Spears, was actually #1 in every single country on the planet it was released.
So not only is he receiving the lyrics, but he's also providing the melody, the whole kit and caboodle. I mean, everything from, hey, an artist would often say, the thing I learned the most by working with this guy is it's how I'm pronouncing the words and how I'm putting the words in the different syllables in the certain places. And so he's not only saying, hey, I want you to sing it this tone, I want you to sing it with these lyrics, but he's also saying, this is how I want you to say it. So for what I think is happening here, he hears it in his head.
Okay, do you know what Baby Hit Me One More Time says backwards? So that's interesting to me. If he's very specific with, you need to hit this syllable on this thing.
Not only is he writing the song lyrics, he's writing the music to it, but he's also giving them symbolism. Because the people that he works with, and we're going to see this just in a second, have these symbolisms as a part of their religion.
That is crazy.
So you see all the symbology as from just the ancient Egypt symbology in this. Constant use of the horse.
Centaur.
The centaur, when you have the half human, half horse thingy. It's interesting because what does this have to do with music? What does this have to do with the song? Why is the constant use of the horse in here? Yeah. And now, what is going on her shirt and on the leg of the horse? What is that?
That's the Egyptian Ankh.
Ankh, yeah.
We have been controlled from the beginning, folks. He said angels because he cannot say demons to the public. All right, folks, I'm going to end our video with this coming clip. Be kind to each other. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And don't forget to like or dislike so I can make better content. Thank you for staying till the end. And if you want to support me or buy me coffee, the links are in the description below. Thank you for watching. Peace. And God bless.
Stop smoking them cigarettes, man. That's your problem, dude. You could tell it's changing your whole aura, my man. That's what I'm telling you. Chill, dude. Listen to me, man. Damn.
You know who you fucking?
No.
Sensei smoke detector. Who the is you, Sensei? What, the alarm going off on your outfit? Are you kidding me? What the where that come from? Oh, man. Your fucking outfit goddamn going off? Motherfucker, what? The fire department coming? What do you want me to do? You worry about my cigarette.
No.
I know what I need to do. I don't need you to just tell me what to do.
Man. I just want you to stop.
Being me uncle sometimes. Sometimes you need to be quiet, your white ass lip. Acting like you went to school for counseling cigarettes. What are you, a cigarette counselor? Motherfucker, what's your name? Marlboro? What are you, the Marlboro kid?